Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a fantastic day so far. I hope today has been treating you well. In today's video I have got a pretty much full face of PLOUISE. I have got all of the products from the most recent budget box, the big suitcase. If you want to see that unboxed, I will link that video up here. I unboxed it a week or so ago. I will leave that video linked, and I also picked up a few other bits, including hopefully a bronzer and a blush that are actually in colours that will show up on my skin, and also a lip kit that comes in a juice box. Like, I'm so excited to get into this, and I think I'm gonna have to keep this packaging because it's just adorable. And yeah, everything that came in that budget box I'm trying on today. So if you like these PLOUISE videos, reviews, be sure to subscribe and like this video so I know to make more of them. But let's just dive straight on in. I have the Get a Grip primer that came in the budget box, and I'm not the biggest fan of a grippy primer, but this one does feel like it's going to be nice and hydrating. It is a completely clear, if I just get a bit out, it's a completely clear, very thin liquid. So let's see, it's not serum-y feeling, but it is very thin and very hydrating. It's got a light scent to it. I'm not exactly sure what the scent is. I don't know if it actually says on it what the scent is, but it's not too overpowering. I definitely got too much. It does feel really nice and hydrating though, which this dry skin gal absolutely needs at all times. So, ooh, it is starting to like thicken up and get a bit stickier and grippier. So I don't know if they do a foundation. I don't have a PLOUISE foundation or concealer or brow products, so I'm just going to give this a little second to sink in. It does feel, can you see, it's ever so slightly tacky, but also that feels really nice and hydrating. Really like thin feeling, like it's sunk in really quickly. I like the feeling of that. It's a primer, so you can't see anything, but I really like how that feels on my skin. I'm not the biggest primer user, but that feels lovely. So I'm gonna go in with the Mitchell Base Duo because I've just been loving it, and let's see how this works over the top of this really nice hydrating base. Okay, so I feel like that foundation is looking extra glowy. I don't feel like it's necessarily like gripped onto the product and therefore I'm getting more coverage out of it. Sometimes when I use a very grippy primer and then a foundation that I know and love, sometimes you get more coverage out of it because it's not blending as far, if that makes sense. I don't feel like that's necessarily happening. I do feel like it's definitely looking glowier than normal. Maybe it's just because I'm quite sweaty because it is hotter than hell in here, but I do feel like that looks really nice over that primer. So I am going to go ahead and go off and do my brows, and then everything else that I'm trying for the rest of the video is PLOUISE. So I will be right back when I've got some brows on my head. Okay, so brows are on, and before I get onto the rest of the base, I want to get into this lip set that I got. So this is the Bad Bee Energy. I won't say it out loud in case you've got children watching. And this is like the little juice box lip duo thing. So it has, this is rhubarb and custard, which is just my favourite like scent flavour of all time. Give me a rhubarb and custard flavoured scented candle and I am yours. So this is the Protect Your Pout Lip Conditioner in Rhubarb and Custard and the Stay Shining Lip Oil in Sweet Shop. So let's get into it. So this is the lip oil. This is the colour like down at the bottom, this like peachy colour. So let's see what this smells like. I could just eat that. I'm not going to, but I could. But I want to use the Protect Your Pout lip conditioner because I got one of these in the budget box. I've got it here. I need to put it on my keys, in the lemon sherbet flavour, and I just love the formula. It's fantastic. So this one again has got the little key ring on it, which I love. So that is what it looks like. And is this going to be a pinky colour? It's basically the same colour as the lemon one. So see, you can't, or I can't really smell the lip conditioner, but that lemon sherbet one that I got, you can taste it. So hopefully once I've got a little bit of this on, I'll be able to taste it. Oh, it's so nice. It's honestly one of my favourite lip balm, like liquid lip balm formulas that I have ever tried, and I only tried it for the first time like a week ago, but it is so thin feeling on the lips but also really hydrating. I've been wearing the lemon sherbet one. I've been wearing it, like putting it on before I go to bed, and then in the morning you wake up and it's still there, like you still feel really nice and hydrated. I absolutely love it. And rhubarb custard, I can taste that. I'm the biggest fan. I am the biggest fan. So I'll leave that on, and I might do like a lip liner or something later, but I want to get into the liquid bronzers because, oh actually I've got that powder. I'll do both. I have got the Cheek of It liquid bronzer, and I got this in Cookie Cup. I already tried one of these and I just got completely the wrong shade. It was the same colour as my skin, so hopefully this one will be a little bit better. And I have decided, I think, that I'm going to just throw these little things away and just use it straight out of the tube. It's just more hygienic that way ultimately. So let me find my brush. So let's see what this colour is like. That's a much better bronzer colour for me. Much better. Oh, I'm thrilled. So I'm just going to use this product that I've got on the back of my hand there, work it into a Real Techniques Expert face brush, and let's try and add a little bit of colour to my face. Yeah, that is a much better bronzer colour for me. I've probably got too much on my hand there, haven't I? I will blend, I will blend. Okay, so the amount that I just got there on the back of my hand was like too much. I'm not going to use all of that, but I am just going to put a little bit more on around my forehead. That's a really, really great colour. So if you wear 4 in the Made by Mitchell skin tint, or, you know, like a very, very light colour, if you want my sort of skin tone, Cookie Cup, that is a beautiful bronzer for my skin tone. I can't remember what shade it was that I got before. Was it like Lovely Latte? That seems to ring a bell. Was basically the same colour as my skin tone, so didn't show up all that much. I'm just going to put a little bit on my nose. Just a tiny bit. I want to be quite sort of fresh and summery, so I want a little bit of colour, but definitely got too much there, so I'll just wipe that off. And as always, I got 2 shades in the blush because it's me. So let's see, I got Melon Mood and Tutti Frutti, and these actually look different from each other, so let me get into them. So this one here is Melon Mood and this one is Tutti Frutti. Do I want more cool tone bright pink or something a bit warmer peachy? I think I want the warmer peachy. So again, I'm going to take that little sponge tip off because I find that a lot easier to use actually without that on. And another Real Techniques Expert face brush. Little squeeze. Yes, see, that is a much better colour. That's actually going to show up. Again, the other two blushes that I got last time were just exactly the same colour as my skin. So I'm just going to work all of that product into another Real Techniques Expert face brush. That's a beautiful colour. Oh, I'm thrilled. I love everything so far. Go me. So the colour is light. Like, it's not intense on my skin. I feel like if I wanted to, I could layer that up and get more colour. But I really am just feeling that light little flush of a summery, slightly warmer, peachy colour. I love that colour. I love that shade. Shall I put a little bit of Melon Mood on? I don't know if I want to. I don't want to do too much. She says, well, she has a stripe of pink on her nose. Let me just tap that in a little bit. But the base is looking delicious. Like, it's so juicy looking and really nice and hydrating. Obviously from that primer, but also with just liquid. All of this is liquid at the minute, so it's really nice and sort of soft looking on the skin, but also like I've got a really great amount of colour and, you know, everything's looking beautiful. So what next? Let's do this face palette that came in the budget box. So this is the All Over the Place face palette, and that is what all of that is looking like. So obviously this is like lighter skin tones and deeper skin tones. I'm gonna live in this whole top row, but I do really like the look of that blush and also this highlight as something for across the eyes. You're speaking my language now. So I'm gonna do a little bit of bronzer. I'm going to take a fluffy Real Techniques blush brush. I love these for bronzer and blush, any like colour products that I want to brush over everywhere. I'm going to dip into the lighter, obviously, of the bronzer shades, and I don't know how pigmented this is going to be, so I'm just going to do a little bit. Really tap off the brush. I don't want to ruin this, so let's just dust this over and see what this colour is like. Yeah, I really like that colour too. And I feel like where I've just added that little bit of powder, that has like dialed down all of that liquidy glowiness, but in like a really nice way. I do still feel like it looks really nice and natural, but that tiny little bit of a powder bronzer has just taken this from sweaty to natural glowy looking. I really like that colour as well. That's worked really well over the top of that liquid. I like it. So I'm going to take another Real Techniques blush brush. I've got one for bronzer and one for blush, and I'm going to dip into the powder blush on the top row. These two are creams. I will try those on another occasion, but I'm going to, again, take a tiny amount and tap that over the top of the liquid blush that we used. Just nice light layers, keeping it quite summery and fresh. Yeah, I love that too. And again, that colour's just like matching in with the liquid blush that I used really nicely, so it all just looks really seamless. I love it. So I'm going to try one of these highlighters. They do look incredibly glittery, but it's for science. It is for science. So I'm going to take the lighter one on a fluffy brush. Oh, I don't know if this is going to be a mistake, you know. I'm going to try it though. Just take a really, really small amount and See, that's darker than my skin. When it's not catching the light, you can see that a little bit. Sure. I mean, I'm gonna have to do the same on the other side, but I know for next time. These are just for the eyes. I mean, beautiful for the eyes, because look how much that's like catching the light, but I feel like you can see it when I look forwards. That is unfortunate, but I am very, very pale, so I mean, this would be a beautiful like body highlight. Not that I'm going anywhere, but that would be really nice to like highlight on the bod, you know? So I'm going to just bounce over that highlight with my sponge, just try and dial it down a little bit, and I will brush over with my blush brush, wherever I put it, just to try and hide that cast a little bit. So I feel like I've managed to make that work. I wouldn't necessarily use that highlight on my face again, but on the eyes, absolutely, 100% I would use that on my eyes. Speaking of eyes, I'm going to use the All Over the Place face palette, and I will go in with that same bronzer that I just used, powder bronzer that I just used on my face, and I'm just going to work a little bit of that through the crease. I might actually use that highlight on the eyes. I was going to use the purple eyeshadow palette, but I think I'm just gonna stick to more of like a warmer, summerier sort of an eye look. So I've got that new mascara as well, so I'm just gonna use this instead. So I'm just going to use my finger, and I'm going to dip into the darker of the two highlights. In fact, let me show you these close up. So this is, I mean, you can see, this is the lighter one and this is the deeper one. I mean, on there it looks like that should work for my skin, but I just feel like you could see it a little bit. So I shouldn't have done that. Hold, please. I'm going to just take that deeper one and press it across my eyes. Done. I love using a highlight for eyeshadow, and realistically that is the only way that I could use a shade like this. I mean, it looks beautiful as an eyeshadow and so easy. So just let me grab that first brush. No more colour, no more product on it, but if I just buff over all of that, that is the quickest eye look ever. That's like warm and bronzy, and if you have my sort of skin tone, beautiful. Beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and try this new mascara. I'm very excited about this. This is the PLOUISE Tear Proof mascara. This is in black. I don't know if they do it in brown. If they have it in brown, I would love to try that. I am so about a brown mascara at the minute. This is what the wand looks like. So I'm interested to see how easy this is to build up quite a lot of volume. I love a volumizing mascara. That is like what I'm all about. I will say, I'll apply while I talk. One of my friends got the PLOUISE box at the same time that I did. She got this one. She messaged, got it on my eyelid already. She messaged me yesterday saying, have you tried that new mascara yet? What do you think of it? And I was like, no, I haven't had a chance to try it yet. Why? What's up with it? She said that it would last through an apocalypse. Her words, not mine. Obviously this is the first time I'm trying it. So she said it was really difficult to remove. Like, it was really long lasting, but it was really difficult to remove at the end of the day. I don't have time to do a full day wear test today, but I will absolutely let you know what I think of it. Just for reference, what I will use tonight to try and take it off is the e.l.f. Holy Hydration e.l.f. Off makeup remover, and I will also use the Inkey List Oat Cleansing Balm. So I will leave it down below how I get on removing this at the end of the day, but first up, let's apply it. First coat, it's nice. I quite like how that's looking. It's lengthening, but it does seem like with the second layer this is going to be quite volumizing, so I will go off and do 2 layers on one side, 1 layer on the other, and we'll see how it'll build up. Okay, so this is 1 coat of mascara versus 2 coats, and I really like how that's like built up. I love the amount of volume, I love the amount of length, the drama. I mean, I've got it all over my eyelid, but I'm waiting for that to dry before I like scratch it off with a spoolie, you know. I really like this mascara. It will all come down to a wear test. Ultimately, I will, like I say, I'll leave it down below what I think of this by the end of the day, and also how easily this will remove, because I'm not doing anything that's difficult. If this is too difficult to take off, I probably won't use it. So I will revert back. So that was easy enough to remove off my eyelids. I love how that looks. Like really love how that looks. So I would be interested to know if they've got brown. I'm just really loving a brown at the minute. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I want drama, I want volume, I want thickness, but I also want it to look quite natural, so I do quite like brown. I did also forget that I had a setting spray. Is it a mistake to use a setting spray once I've already done my mascara? I'm gonna try it. If this goes horribly wrong, it's completely my own fault. So this is the PLOUISE Skin Babe It's Time to Fix Up. Babe It's Time to Fix Up setting spray. So I'm going to do this from quite a distance, and I'm going to do not too much because I don't want this mascara to go everywhere. I don't want to ruin it because I feel like it looks really nice at the minute. Okay, so the spray does have the same sort of scent. I'm not sure what it is, but again, I quite like it. And that has added a really nice layer of hydration to the skin. I mean, it's still drying down. I'm still very much damp. It's a really nice fine mist, like to the point where I feel like if I'm spraying it straight on, it's so fine that it's not even making it as far as my face. Like, I almost had to like lean back and do it like that, because otherwise I feel like gravity is not letting it get, do you know what I mean? Does that make any sort of sense? Either way, I really like that. It has almost dried down. I feel like that's looking really nice and glowy. Like, I mean, is it looking a bit too glowy? I'm not sure, but I like that. I mean, I am soaked, but I like it. It was a really nice spray, and that's like my main issue with setting sprays, that sometimes they're a bit aggressive, and I'm not about that. So the last product that I've got to try is the You Give Me the Ick lip palette, and I don't know. I mean, I need a brush for a product like this, don't I? But what sort of brush do you use? Also, 100% of my brushes have got eyeshadow on them. So what do I do about that? So I'm just going to wipe off that lip conditioner that I had on, but I don't want to because that just feels lovely. Like I say, I'm the biggest fan. So I have just cleaned off a brush with a little bit of micellar water and a tissue. This is the Beauty Bay BB207. I don't know if this is the right sort of brush to use. I would love to know, what do I use for a lip palette like this? I am all ears because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just going to take this middle colour at first and work this into the brush. Oh my goodness, that is pigmented. Okay, I might just, yeah, I'm gonna like work that into the brush on the back of my hand. That's a really nice colour though. I love that colour. So let's try. Okay, I love that. I love that colour. That's like, it's a little bit bright, but it's not like completely out of the ordinary. I'm going to go into the slightly browner one just next to it. I will just use the same brush because this is my palette and it doesn't matter if these get mixed together a little bit. I'm just going to take a little bit of that darker one and sort of make that into a lip liner because I feel like it's a tiny little bit light. I'm just going to use a little bit of this. Okay, so I've basically mixed both of those colours together now. I love that shade. I don't know how long lasting this would be, like actually, you know, wearing it throughout the day, because it feels really nice and hydrating. It feels really like creamy and sort of slippery and balmy feeling. So again, I will report back on how that wears, but I'm surprised at how much I like that. I wasn't expecting to like that as much as I do because I thought that it would, honestly I thought it would be a lot more fiddly to use than that, but I really like that colour and it was easy enough to apply with like just a regular sort of flat eyeshadow brush. I don't know if I would necessarily need more of like a liner brush if I wanted to, you know, do an actual lip liner, but I really like how all of this has turned out. Oh, I'm thrilled. The only thing is I would like to just use a little bit of powder, just a tiny bit, just a tiny little bit of powder right under here. I will blend it in just because I feel like, you know, everything, and with that setting spray being as hydrating as it was, I just want a little bit of reassurance, especially with it being so like so hot and sweaty today. Just let me have a little bit of powder, but still really nice and glowy, really nice and natural. I'm thrilled with how all of this has turned out. I don't know what's going on with my hair now though. I tried to do more of like a natural wave rather than my big curls, and I don't know what I've done with these little front bits, but that is the finished look. An almost completely full face of P. Louise. I'm a really big fan of everything that I've tried today. Everything I feel like looks really nice and fresh, lightweight, like natural little flushes of colour. I said this before and I'll say it again, I always feel like with P. Louise, you see the P. Louise girlies on Instagram and TikTok and stuff, and they are like full glam, cut crease. That's just not who I am. I really like this sort of natural, just like flush of something. So I've never felt like P. Louise was a brand that did that sort of thing. I was wrong. I love how all of this has turned out. The base palette, the face palette, love. The hydrating primer, I feel like that really surprised me. The Get a Grip primer, sorry, it's a gripping primer, but I feel like if you've got dry skin you will really like that. The setting spray, love. The lip kit, I feel like that was the star of the show for me. I love all of the, like all of both of those products. Love them. Really nice and hydrating. Really, like they had so many different scents as well, so you could pick something that you really loved. Tutti Frutti blush, new favourite blush. The mascara, dramatic but also like fluttery and lengthening, and I will report how that lasts throughout the day. What else have we tried? Was that everything? I think that was everything. So let me know, is there anything that you think I need to try from PLOUISE? Like I say, a load of these things that I got in the budget box, I am going to continue getting the budget boxes because I feel like this last one has like surprised me in how much I like it, and also like so many of these products I got in that budget box and it was £30. I love. So let me know, is there anything else that you think I need to try from PLOUISE? I would love to know. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you've made it to the very end and you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe down below. I post at least 3 times a week on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday, but it's always more often than that because I get overexcited about makeup. So I'd love it if you would subscribe down below, but until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.